So here we go. We welcome this young man, a man I know extremely well, Ioan Harris. A professional record, Frank, of 1-0. And when you look at that, you think, wow, this is a green kid. But no, this is the European IMAF amateur champion. Now, it's maybe not so familiar in the US of A, but in Europe, it is a huge tournament. And he had to fight in 1 week 5 times. During that time on his run to the gold medal, he took out fighters from Ireland, Spain, Bulgaria, and then in Belgium, he finished in the final with a Von Flue choke. He comes from a judo background. His grappling is so strong, so good. But what we are seeing, especially from a man this young who is training 2 times a day, even as an amateur, now moving to professional, is somebody every time he steps in makes huge leaps, Frank. I don't just mean like microcosmic leaps as far as his skill set. He is making giant leaps as the martial artist he is still yet to become.
Yeah, I'm super excited to watch him fight in person. You know, one thing I've always seen when you guys got like a black belt in judo, and his experience now in fights, is how they're able to translate over to our sport. We've had a few guys like Carl Parisian who've done well as black belts in judo as their base, great grapplers, great striking, and they go out there and they're able to engage those throws that we see in judo. But without the gi top on, it does change things. If they can figure out how to get those attachments, how to link up to somebody with grips that translates over to the no-gi and to the MMA, there are some devastating throws that are extremely effective with very little risk. Their heads aren't exposed like your traditional wrestlers are.
So Ioan Harris inside the cage. Now let's welcome Nettleton's own Unterio Gladney. So here we go, from Nettleton, Mississippi, representing Tupelo Jiu-Jitsu Academy, is the 29-year-old Unterio Gladney. Taking his time to make the entrance, but it is worth it. This man, my goodness, a record of 2-1. Last fight was in February, beat Michael Banks by first round TKO to strike. So when I watched that back, Frank, he is not a guy who feels out the fight. He is going to bring it right from the start, and you can see just from his physique just how strong he is, and that's what he imposed against Michael Banks. He got hold of the guy, and it almost felt like Banks couldn't believe how strong the man was, couldn't believe the pressure and the torque on the punches he could get from short distances, and he buckled him inside the round, inside 2 minutes of that first round, and that is what Ioan Harris is going to have to deal with early on in this fight.
Yeah, Gladney definitely has, you know, the sprinter gene, that genetically strong, you know, code that just gives a lot of power, a lot of high octane, you know, ability, and he's a great fighter on top of that. So far, his only loss was because his opponent just smothered him. He wrestled the whole time, said, hey, you know what? I'm not going to give you any room to hit me with any of that power and throw me around, and I'm going to wear you out. I'm going to sit there and drape on you. You know, if you got to fight a guy like a Francis Ngannou, you're not going to sit there and let him just throw at you. You're going to do everything you can to smother them, to close the distance, to make them wear you. You want to almost be like a wet blanket on top of them. That is what so far is the only antidote to Gladney's style we've seen so far. And what makes this fight so exciting is Harris has the ability as his grappling to possibly do so. But, or is he going to sit there, because Lone is a great striker too, throw punches and have exchanges and create those opportunities that Gladney is definitely going to take advantage of and feel very comfortable doing so.
Yeah, this is what makes this fight exciting, because as you said, that one loss was to a grappler, a very heavy grappler. What has he learned from that? What adjustments has he made coming into this fight against somebody who is known for that again? We are going to see, as we see England, sorry, I'm going to get hit for that when I get back home, Wales take on the USA. Never make that mistake in the UK, Frank. Never make that mistake. I might stay in America now. Let's go. Tail of the tape here. For Wales versus the USA, we have the 1-0 Ioan Harris taking on the 2-1 29-year-old Unterio Gladney. 22 is Ioan, 6'2", height and reach on his side. What a fight this is set to be. Let's get it underway. Let's hand it to Cyrus Fees.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first the fighter on my right. Fighting out of the blue corner, he stands 6 foot 2 inches tall, weighing in at 155.4 pounds. His record, 1 win and 0 defeats. Fighting out of Maesteg, Wales, I give you Ioan Harris. And now his opponent, standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Standing 5'11" tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. His record, 2 wins and 1 defeat. Fighting out of Nettleton, Mississippi, Unterio Gladney.
So here we go. This a pro lightweight contest. Ioan Harris in the blue corner, black shorts, representing Wales, taking on Unterio Gladney from Nettleton, Mississippi. He is in the red corner. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Frank Mir. And this, a battle of styles. Let's see exactly how this one unfolds. For me as well, Ioan is experienced traveling to fight in those IMAFs. Sometimes when you see fighters, you know, travel, go to different countries, different time zones, they struggle with that. But I feel like that experience that he had last year, working his way to that gold medal, that will have helped him with this transition into coming to America, getting used to adjusting his body to this time zone.
Absolutely. You know, very smart way to force the takedown there. And I don't know if Ioan Harris is going to want to really pull this guillotine instead of fight the takedown. And now, you see how he's sitting on the ankles?
This is it.
Yeah, Ioan's not worried about the guillotine at all. He is triangling the legs. He is securing Ioan's detriment to be able to not be able to fight off. And now he's just going to clear that wrist. You see him looking for it right now. If I was in Gladney's corner, I'd be like, hey, lock him. Where you just connect your hands over the back and connect them and then get a referee breakage. Because right now he's in a bad position. He's about to get mounted.
He's in a bad position against somebody who this is their favorite position. Look at the wrist wrap under here.
Yep, behind the back, that's classic control. Jake Shields type. Now he's locking that leg.
Look at the way he pulled him in and under his own hips there, Frank. And he finished this fight, his last fight, from pretty much this position, tied the wrist up behind and then just
the
beat
only
the
defense
man
for
down.
this is to rotate, give up your back, build your base back up, and then get rid of that wrist control. You can't sit there and face your opponent because they have the top leg wrapped, they got that bottom wrist wrapped, and you can get a referee stoppage here because you just can't get out. And if you do, what we were talking about that we don't want to happen to Gladney, or what his camp doesn't want to happen to him, is waste a lot of energy. This is bad for the powerful striker. It's like, oh, well, guess what? You're not going to be as strong now at the end of this round that you were when you walked in here because Ioan is going to just sap your energy. He's on his ribs. He can't take a deep breath. And now he is searching for that rear naked, hunting for it. Look, beat him up, beat him up. And as long as he keeps a hold of that wrist, this position is a horrible position to be in.
Let's have a listen into the corner of Ioan now. This is perfect. He's rolled him over now, Frank.
His head's in a perfect position.
Oh, looking for the rear naked choke.
Clean as it can be,
Ioan
guys.
Harris,
look at the body triangle. That doesn't get better.
This is super tight. Getting that squeeze. You can see now Gladney trying to survive. He needs to grab the top hand though, right, Frank?
Yes. By holding the bottom hand, you're kind of staving off, but it doesn't stop the force. And right now, that body triangle is just eating him up. Oh, he's under the chin
now. Under the chin. Ioan Harris looking for his second professional victory. Looking to claim it here on US soil. Oh my goodness, he's got the tap. Wow, well, Wales stand up. Ioan Harris with the first round finish. Listen, Frank, I've seen him do it in the amateur scene. There's always the question, how do you transition coming up against professionals? The answer's right there, right? Ioan Harris, that is one to watch. Frank Mir clapping Ioan Harris, getting the submission. That's cool, right?
Yeah, you know what? I don't take sides when these guys walk in here, but there's certain styles that I like, you know, and I like the grappling style oriented MMA because, you know, to me it transfers over to street fighting even better, you know? I mean, that rear naked choke, it doesn't matter who you are. You can have the greatest cross in the world. There's some guys you ain't gonna drop. You know what I mean? Striking is a little bit more, you know, differential from guy to guy. You wrap someone's neck, you cut the blood off to the brain. It doesn't matter if they're on PCP, if they're the biggest, strongest guy in the world, they're gonna go to sleep, you know? And how long they sleep depends on when you want to let go.
Well, a picture perfect, UFL debut for the Welshman from Mestard, UK. Now set to get his hand raised inside this UFL cage. He talked to me, he said, I get so nervous before, but as soon as I walk, everything just disappears. I know I am where I am supposed to be. Let's get that hand raised. Let's hand it to the man with the mic, Cyrus, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jason Aldridge stops the fight at 3 minutes and 4 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by tap out to the rear naked choke, Ioan Harris.
Respect given after the fight, but a picture-perfect debut, right? He talked to me as well. He said, this guy, I know he's going to come out aggressive, but he kind of had the look in the eye, because if you come aggressive at a grappler, at somebody who can change levels and get the takedown like that, you're literally getting welcomed with open arms, right?
Yeah, and Gladney didn't do a bad job. He saw some of the kicks that Lone was throwing, and he went to fire a shot over the top. Smart move. But then Lone was able to change levels, get that takedown, and that was just the beginning of the end for him. Once he got him down into this position here in the world, especially once he lopped that body triangle up, he was either getting the choke or the round would be over. He wasn't going to leave his back.
And there we have it, the Welsh flag proudly across his shoulders, his arm raised. What a moment for
So as
Wales's own Ioan Harris.